Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on Fate Zero, which is on episode 9. Now, this episode right here, I'll give you guys certain behind the scenes the first time I watched it like 2 years ago or something. And honestly, you'll be pretty shocked or something about how I first reacted or something. Although it wouldn't be anything surprising because maybe because I'm like, I don't know, that kind of thing, you know? So if anything else, let's just get this started. Okay, at the beginning of the episode, we have to it that we get a backstory about Lancer. Apparently he is one of the knights that is well trusted by the lord he served a long time ago. But apparently because Grian ends up falling in love with Diarmuid and kisses him somehow and puts him under a certain spell, possibly, she asks him to take her away, and that's when things got out of hand and he ends up fighting his own soldiers that he fought alongside, and the king was not happy about this, and eventually we don't know how much time passed by, but the king recognizes the Diarmuid and Granye's marriage, but apparently we have to it that Diarmuid did get injured, and that was shown at the beginning of his backstory, and then he died like that, and so forth. And it was pretty, ugly in the end, but after that opening, we have to it that Solowee and Kenneth talk about what happened, and apparently Kenneth did lose all of his magic circuits, etc. He can't use magic again. And Solowee tries to convince Kenneth to hand over the command seals to her and let her fight in his stead. But he does not trust the idea and doesn't like the idea until she forces his hand and threatens to cut off his right arm off for his command seals. I'm like, what the hell? Are you crazy? And there was a scene with Irisfield and Saber talking about Maya and she would be okay. And Kiritsugu talks to Irisfield about a couple things, and Kiritsugu tells Irisfield, you and Saber will stay here, and Irisfield does try to talk to Kiritsugu that Saber wants Kiritsugu to go after Castor, but right now Kiritsugu's like, look, let me tell you something, these kids are not really in the matter right now, okay, because of what's been happening. Right now, I would have been killed by Lancer should Lancer betray her, and I'm really upset about seeing how Saber just let Lancer go like this, And even though Lancer may be honorable, this is a war. He could have just killed Kiritsugu off if he wanted to when he first met him, And Kiritsugu was pretty upset about Saber about Saber's action here and there. So I can't blame him. So he goes right now, you don't need to tell Saber where I'm going right now. And there was a scene between Solau or Solowee, however you want to pronounce her name, and Diarmuid, where she tries to convince Lancer to win the Grail with her and win the war and so forth. But Lancer goes look, I serve Kenneth only. If he abandons the Grail or something and he just left the war, then I have no need to look for it then. But Solowee was still persistent about him having to protect her, but we have to it that Lancer still disagrees and tries to leave. But apparently we have to it that that Solowee managed to tell Lancer, if you want to help Kenneth and you bear responsibility of what happened to him, then you could help me win the Grail War and then we could heal him up, Offer the Grail to him. And Lancer says, do you promise me that you seek the Grail in his behalf and not for yourself, not for your other desires? You promise me that? She says, I promise as the wife of Kenneth, I will bring the Grail to him. And therefore he submits and agrees. But apparently when he looked at the face of Solowee, he feels agonized by it possibly, because that look on her face is the same one that Granye had. And Lancer says in his wish in the Grail Wars that he just wants the loyalty given to him that he was denied in his last life. But fate was simply too cruel, and I don't harbor any hatred towards anyone for it, And therefore, we have to it that Saber announces her life to Irisfield about you see here, there are times where I turn the blind eye to those who died, possibly innocent lives of many others when she kept fighting for her life against her enemies and so forth, And she says that there are certain rules that needs to be done and so forth, and Kiritsugu is ignoring all these other people, and Saber does not like that. Although Icefield tells Saber, like, let me tell you something, Kiritsugu, in order for his ideal world to work, you are essential to his plan or something. So in other cases, like you're very important right now, There's a scene with Ryder, Waver, and the other grandparents that Waver managed to fool him with their mind control and so forth. And we have to it that Waver decides to ask Ryder to get some water apparently, so he could take a look at some things here and there, And apparently this is some kind of simple alchemy thing that involves finding Cass's location, and that's seeing a drainage pipe that Waver asks when he sees the letter Q vial, I think letter Q, if anything, that has no blood in it or something, or it had no color change. And therefore, they decide to go raid it with Ryder's proposing, and apparently after reaching a certain tunnel or entrance, we have to it that Waver's like, what is this? Is this where a water tank is? And apparently Ryder tells Waver, I don't think you should be seeing this, after entering Castor's lair. And Waver says, what are you talking about? We gotta know if they're here or not or something, or if we might have misjudged. But Ryder tries to warn Waver again, like, I know what you're saying, but I suggest you do not do this, because it will be too much for you to handle. Waver ignores his warnings, and the moment he lights up everything, he ends up seeing blood and dead children. And he goes like, what the hell is this? And then Ryder's like, I warned you, didn't I? And Waver tells him to shut up, as he's always making fun of him right now. And Ryder's like, look, now's not to be stocked up on pride, okay? I punch or beat anyone up if they did not blink an eye and not give a about what just happened here, And therefore, we have to that Assassin tries to attack Waver, but apparently Ryder managed to defend him, and Assassin retreated. So therefore, Ryder and Waver decides to destroy what's in Castor's lair, so they can't hide anymore, that kind of thing. A scene between Kirei and Tokiyomi about a certain things here and there, what's been happening, but apparently we had to the Kirei is remembering Gilgamesh's words and seeing how Tokiyomi is a boring guy and so forth, and so on. And we also have to it that since they couldn't judge about Ryder's trump card and so forth, they could always find out another way how to find out in the end, and it ends off there. Next episode, I guess I could say to all those who are Ring fans, you'll be liking it, So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, so around nighttime or so. Alright, I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye bye. Toodaloo.